Amongst all the stats in Dark Souls, there is one that they have fooled you into believing is useless. Resistance. They might tell you to upgrade Vigor, or to not get hit in the first place, but this is all just to stop you from awakening your true strength, and as such, I will beat Ornstein and Smough by only upgrading Resistance, and without dodge rolling, to show you the truth. First I need to choose a class. Dexterity and Endurance are probably the most important stats because Strength can be made up for by two-handing, and do I need to explain why Vigor is completely useless for this build? So the main three options are Thief, Wanderer, and Hunter. I chose Hunter because it has the highest endurance and the bow will probably be very useful. Now I tried unbinding the dodge roll in order to stop my dark impulses born from birth, from when I was born, from taking over, despite how much I try. But there's no way to do that without also unbinding sprint, so I just have to resist the curse within my soul that yearns for freedom and savagery. After navigating the asylum with my veteran knowledge of the area, I reached the asylum demon, and I walked to the right of him, thus nullifying 75% of the attacks. And by the way, because of how easy it would be to fake a no dodge roll challenge, a video of the uncut bosses is in the description. Now for the first resistance levels. Oh, look at that difference. Oh, goddamn. Okay, so in the Undead Bug, I got a cooler shield and a spear which can attack from behind a shield. In hindsight, maybe this wasn't the best weapon, but that was the reason I chose it. And of course, who could forget about the Taurus demon? This fight was pretty good. I couldn't run around his attacks, so I had to be very careful with my stamina in order to block, but this did make the fight kind of a slog, so much so that he went to a farm. Well, right past this is an Estus Flask upgrade, and of course, a blacksmith, but also the bell gargoyles. Okay, maybe I should get new gear or something. So, the great news is that the best shield in the game is right here. See, it's so good that attacks don't even hit in the first place. And for armor, I chose the Elite Knight set because it looks nice and I don't have to farm for souls, unlike the Stone Knight set which only has better stats. With this, the strategy was very basic. Rush down the first guys though the second doesn't exist, then kill the second. Initially I tried doing intelligent things like defocusing to sprint around their attacks and hitting them from the side or behind, but the fire spam was too annoying. I also ended up getting lucky and leaving the fight with a new helmet and a weapon on top of the 10,000 souls. Well, at least I still have the gear. It's pretty nice. Now for the Capra demon. Did you remember that I chose the spear because it can attack while blocking? Well, I got it purely for the dogs in this one segment. The technique drains way too much stamina to be viable against a boss, so it's only useful against normal enemies. So, the Capra demon himself is a pain, because of the small space and unblockable attacks, but it's still a stupid AI, and I proved human superiority once again. No, I did not get those back. Do you remember where the entrance to the depths is? Well, I didn't. For some reason I thought it was through here, and I had to look up a video to find it, so now for the depths. I just kind of assumed resistance would increase curse resistance, so I didn't bother getting any anti-curse equipment, but this was actually a blessing in disguise, because now I remembered that I needed to free this guy so that I can buy Iron Flesh, which I would have been able to use had I chosen the Wanderer or Thief as my class, but now I just need to grind even more to afford the curse cure. Well, now for round 2, and I surely won't make the same mistake again. Hey, did you know there's a shortcut at the start right here? I do now, because I forgot how to get there normally and found it while looking up online maps. So now for an actually difficult boss. You can tell because I need to sprint. Even with blocks, some of these attacks deal a lot of damage, so the main strategy is to use your depth perception. Depth perception. So the main strategy is to use your depth perception and aim for this. There's good damage from hitting the head flap thing, and then it runs forward in a straight line, has an asthma attack, and gives you tons of free hits, including the time spent grinding for gold pine resin that I didn't even end up using to kill it. This fight took 2 hours. Blighttown, I was actually pretty excited for this because resistance greatly improves poison resistance. So, one may expect that dedicating everything to resistance makes you an impenetrable god against poison. Not really, no. Not quite. Well, even while being affected by poison, I still got through the place in 20 minutes because of my incredible, unparalleled skill. Honestly, this fight without dodge rolls wasn't that different from normal. It took me an hour and was difficult, sure, but that was because I was fighting Quelaag without any points in a damage stat, not because the chip damage from blocking these sword slashes instead of dodging them was unbearable. On the way out of Blighttown, I made sure to grab another SS Flask upgrade and left through the... The great thing about Sen's Fortress is that the guards don't get paid enough to chase you, and the boulder hasn't bothered to kill anyone since its healthcare was cut, so the place is pretty easy to get through. But do you know what's even easier? The Iron Golem. So, being unable to dodge in this fight makes it difficult enough for me to actually upgrade the bonfire. Okay, now the reason why the fight is so difficult is because his attacks, although slow, hit like a truck and in a big area, so I need to be very careful about my positioning on this small platform. Overall though, it's a fun amount of difficulty. I can now finally understand what the developers' intent behind this fight was. It's a tense battle of slowly chipping away at a massive golem, but the health bar is balanced out by the stun mechanic, so the fight isn't actually a slog. It's stylistic, it's fun, it's still the Iron Golem. It's still the Iron Golem. Anor Londo is easy. I beat both the gargoyles and this guy on my first try, and also resisted the urge to open up any chests until this. The armor with the highest defense in the game. The only downsides are stamina recovery speed and slow dodge rolling, like that matters. So in other words, there are no downsides. Oh, wait a second, I can't sprint in this. Well, now it's time for the finale. It's time for Ornstein and Smough. I should probably reevaluate my equipment. So, Lautrec unfortunately took an SS Flask upgrade before I could get my hands on it, but fear not. The dumbass hasn't used it yet, so I can circle his gang squad and take enough isolated pot shots to eventually kill him, and upgrade my SS Flask once more. Oh, and the Ring of Favor and Protection, known by no other names, actually increased my equipment load enough to sprint in Havel's armor. So now, for the finale. I should probably reevaluate my equipment. Hitting Super Ornstein with a spear is a pain, so I upgraded the Gargoyle Tail Axe with all the resources I had on hand, and I can't have the spear and tail axe simultaneously equipped. Guess I'll just switch to it mid-fight. One more reevaluation. Just one more. I can consistently reach the second phase in around 5 attempts, and it's not that hard of a fight, just really tedious. So I put some effort into properly upgrading the axe. While here, I figured I should probably get Havel's Ring so that I don't need to open up the menu mid-fight, and after around 2 hours, I have the final build used to beat this. To begin with, I'm killing Smough first because a massive spear is presumably easier to run around than a massive hammer. I say presumably because I never actually tried fighting second phase Smough because of how annoying it is to hit first phase Ornstein. Now, the first phase revolves around what I'm sure you're familiar with. Isolate the one you're targeting, use the pillars as cover, try to keep track of the seconds so that this doesn't happen. Thankfully, I'm educated enough in Feng Shui to position myself in places where I don't get hit, despite being unable to roll. Though I still have some studying to do. The second phase is basically just the Iron Golem, but with more health, a larger arena, and a smaller attack radius. Even with less Estus Flasks due to phase 1, I actually think the Iron Golem might be more difficult, but I can't say for sure because I'm using a better weapon and, well, you know, I'm missing some information. So, this fight took just a bit under 12 hours. For reference, the rest of the game, everything else in this video, took under 10 hours, but it was worth it, because now billions will be convinced of Resistance superiority. And the ones who aren't will be hunted down by a death squad funded with this channel, so if you want to support that, make sure to subscribe and join my Discord server where I intend on hosting game competitions with prize pools up to 450 Jamaican dollars, so join the Discord server.